Hello guys, today I wanted to bring you a deck, Filavandrel, Scoia'tael, a return to the hand buff archetype that I have explored in the past in other videos, but it's regaining a bit of popularity. Whether or not it's super strong, it's hard to tell, but there's a new way to play it that people didn't really twig, myself included, didn't figure out at first, and that is you can actually save Filavandrel for round 2 and 3 to really get the boost value in the rounds that matter, just by passing very early on in round 1. So that is what this deck is aiming to do, making an early pass, maybe at 7 cards, and then going to that round 2, even if you face a loss. Don't want to lose on even, but you want to make sure that you're hard to bleed, and that your leader effect gets a ton of value round 2 and round 3, allowing you to either get card advantage, or have a very, very strong presence in that third round. So that is the reason for having Filavandrel. We then have a ton of engines which are going to be boosting themselves, getting boosted by the ability and then surviving longer. Things like Hawker Smugglers will also boost your other units, giving you carryover if you get bled in the round 2. Things like Defender are going to be very, very powerful, getting you a lot of points, but being, susceptible to removal, of course, tool removal of your units if the opponent has that. We also have King of Beggars for some buffs, which is very nice. Sheldon is going to be taking those buffs up, smacking the enemies down as well. Gabor is some carryover or some immunity and good dwarf synergy. And the rest of the deck is pretty much a dwarf core with a lot of, dwarf stuff. Volunteers, Mercenary to get value from the dwarves, Agitator as well, and Skirmishers are good value, reach 1 for provision unit. Dragoons there for filler. Milva is a pretty good immune unit, getting you a lot of value in those long rounds. Another engine that will really put out a ton of points. And as you see, like most of the, not necessarily most, but a lot of the cards here are engines. The Mercenary, the Defender, the Smuggler, the Milva. Engine overload, but in Scoia'tael and with boost synergy going on, so very cool. The finisher cards, I guess you could call them, are Ithlin, Synthesis, Call of the Forest is quite powerful as well. Cleaver's giving you a massive swing at the start of a round, allowing you to maybe remove an engine of your opponents. He's not super common in the meta, so people don't play around him that often, and when they don't, he can be very, very powerful. Otherwise, he's just pretty strong, getting you that dwarf, synergy that you want in the deck, of course, as well. Roach, pretty standard thinning. We need some thinning along with volunteers. Those are the tools to do that. And yeah, the deck, as we said, is quite straightforward. You just want to pass after a few plays in round 1 so you can maximize your Filavandrel ability in round 2 and 3. You don't want to play him immediately, in fact, where we have been in the past, but instead playing him later in the game to actually get the value from the leader effect in the rounds that matter. Very, very cool way to play the deck, and I think it makes him a lot stronger when you play him in that way. Let's jump into a game or two and see if we can win. Okay, first game against Ithne. Interesting. I wonder what this will be. Haven't seen too many Ithne decks being popular recently. So with the Mulligan, we probably want to get rid of any bricks we have. We don't have any proper bricks here, but I think we can get rid of Skirmisher. It's a card I don't really want at the beginning. And then probably an Agitator as well. Now, yeah, as we said, we're going to be passing on 7 cards if we can, to try to get the most value from Filavandrel that we can possibly get. And that means we'll probably play Mercenary, Volunteers, Agitator, Pass, something like that. Maybe even Gabor is possible for the resilience. But I think, yeah, definitely a few of these cards, and then take an early pass. Gets a lot of engine value into round 2 and 3. And hopefully get card advantage in round 2, or just an easy win, one way or another. Let's go with that Mercenary to enable the Volunteers. We can then move from there. Cleaver in round 2 is just so powerful as well. That's a pretty chunky Swordmaster. We could Kiara in that, but I don't think we're concerned about points in this round. We're just concerned about doing a bit of thinning and getting a little bit of carryover, and then we'll be out of here into the next round, and we can move from there. Sounds good. I forgot to mention, but we do have officers in this deck to actually boost the engines if they get damaged. That's kind of why they're there, and for a little bit of removal value as well. I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention that. So let's probably just buff the Defender up. The higher we make this, the harder it is for him to damage it and remove its ability effectively. That should be good. And then we'll go with the pass and make sure our Filavandrel is strong. The thing is, if we play out round 1 and then lose, after not playing Filavandrel, then our leader ability is really bad, because we can get bled into round 2, right? By taking a pass here, we make sure that we're getting absolutely really important, you know, round 2 or 3 value, which is more important than round 1 value with your leader. Because we're going to be able to either maneuver card advantage or a win in round 3, hopefully. So, what do we have? We've got a lot of engines here. Probably a good amount, honestly. We want maybe some of our other power cards, if we can find them. So I'm going to mulligan for those. I don't think I want the mercenary, it's a bit too slow, and Roach is bad, of course. King of Beggars is a great pickup. That's what we like to see. So we'll definitely go ahead and play Filavandrel now, and then we can choose what engine to go with. Probably King of Beggars is a good bet. Is the most likely to stick around and get nice value.
Not one escapes. Got it?
And then we can go with the Hawkers after, maybe.
An ill wind.
There's going to be a Kiaran to lock him up, not the end of the world at all. We can definitely go with our other buffing guys, and he's just going to give us carryover into round 3. So while we're being bled, we're also carrying over points, which is very, very powerful. Effectively means he's bleeding himself in a way.
Yes, one.
Make sure we get value from our cleaver as well, that's quite important. So, final Hawker Smuggling, we will play it. If he passes, it's pretty good for him, but it's also fine for us. We can then go with the carryover Gabor if we need to. We'll have a long round 3 without engines, which is not going to be too bad. Have to be wary of Eorveth and traps, that might be what the opponent's playing. As a finisher. Have to be aware of that and play accordingly. They might be tempted to keep pushing us here. Looks like they are going to go for it. Really? Going with the double Ithne charge and Geralt to shut that down. Okay. So I'm pretty happy to now go with our defender. We're going to be able to just get some buffs from that, and then I think we're going to want to cleaver soon after. Otherwise we might be pushed a little bit too hard. I'm hoping there's no more big removal. I assume with Professional out, then there's probably not much that he'll have to kill that. That's kind of why I'm playing that there. So now I think Cleaver's looking pretty good. We'll just get the full value on him. And we will get just ahead with the defender, so that's nice. And this is where we've translated our leader ability into round 2, you know, getting card advantage, as it were, which is very, very powerful. Of course, he's going to be forced to commit more if he wants to get the card back, or we'll have to take the loss in this round. But there's going to be a Scorch that will definitely allow him to actually win the card off of us, which is kind of unfortunate, I think it's fair to say. We would like to find a target for this Call of the Forest, but we don't really have a good one right now. But probably Milva's fine. We need to play her sooner rather than later if we're worried about getting 2-0'd, which we should be a little bit worried. I'm always going to want to play Gabor anyway here for the resilience. So we haven't got that much carryover. We've effectively got 4 points plus 5, so 9 carryover, and he only has 1 leader charge left. I think it's fair to say that's quite a bit of carryover actually. Good enough. Gabor also of course gets boosted when we play Dwarfs now, so he's even better than 5 carryover technically. We'll get rid of Skirmisher though, and then probably the Officer. Although, maybe Call of Forest is actually not too good. I'm going to mulligan that, I think. Bit of a weird one, but yeah. So we can Ithlin onto Defender here. Seems really good to me.
Nigh is the time of the white frost.
9 points and then 8 points and an engine. Very, very powerful, and of course getting a buff for Gabor as well.
Let us sing the song of steel.
Although first we probably want to lock this. Don't want to have to deal with the Swordmaster getting a few points. Probably no other engine from him, so we'll play our defender now. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have no more tool removal for him. We've seen a Scorch and a Professional already, and the beauty of this deck is that it wasn't even enough to stop us in any way. In fact, we're still kind of wrecking him, even after that big removal happening. Got an 8-point play, another 8-point play, and a 5 in hand. And we're way ahead right now, 20 points up. He's going to try his best to knock down the defender, but we're not too worried. So Synthesis now, and then we can use these guys for boosting should we need to do that. We probably will. And yeah, deck working very, very well, it seems like. He's going to use the Ithnian charge there just to try his best to delay or prevent us from getting those boosts, but not really going to work because we have the nice Vryhead Officer tech there to help our engines out. Very nice. Call of the Forest will come down on Aileron, pretty powerful. Going to be Isungrim as his finisher effectively, which is definitely strong, no doubt about it, guys. No doubt about it. I'm going to now kill one of these elves though. And I think we're winning. We're pretty damn far ahead in points. He's a 14-point play. Even Geralt wouldn't be enough. And we are going to win that game. It was kind of close in the end, but not really. I think we did pretty well in that game. Let's jump into another one and see if we can get another win. Okay, now up against Crack and Crate. They potentially have a stronger long round than previous opponent, so gotta be wary of that. But I think we're gonna go for the same tactic, the same strategy. Mulliganing Roach, mulliganing Volunteer, and then probably mulliganing the Dragoon as well. And we'll do our typical Dwarven Mercenary to start. Tactical advantage it to protect it from Marauder, and then we can go with the Volunteers after that. The Agitator as well, or maybe even Ithlinne. Also possible to do. Looks like Spear's going to be played from the opponent. We'll go with the Volunteers though. Best regiment, the whole ploughing north. Be able to get some carryover there. Oh my goodness. 4 damage on the Mercenary, unbelievable. Unbelievable. But okay, we can shoot a couple of shots at that guy. And then the question is Ithlinne or Agitator. I think Agitator, since we're not really threatened for points too much. We can play the weaker card. And then we're going to take the pass, hopefully, after the opponent's next play. If they don't overcome, if they do, then we can maybe go with something else. But okay, double Marauder. Okay, interesting. I think we'll go with our pass now. We are going to run into like a spear in a long round, which is quite nasty, but I think we'll be alright against it. And if we won't, well, it'll be a learning experience, and you guys will know not to do that if you end up playing Filavandrel yourself. Longship coming down. The opponent did only use pretty terrible cards to win that round. Power of Marauder and Spear together is, you know, it can't be understated. But we'll see if we're okay in the second round. We'll mulligan 1 Skirmisher, I think. And then I think Agitator as well. Maybe another Skirmisher, actually. A lot of engines once again in hand. When most of your deck is engine based, then that's going to happen. Which is not at all a bad thing. So let's throw out that Filavandrel ability and go with King of Beggars like we did last game. Alternatively, we could go with Milva. I actually don't mind that. She'll give us some staying power in this round if we do get bled. I don't think we will. But maybe even want to save the engines here for round 3 if we can. It's going to be Witches thrown out by the opponent. I actually think we'll go with the Orca Smuggler here. Because it's a Scoia'tael card, so it's synergizing with Milva. If we can keep Beggars for later, then we're getting a little bit more value, effectively, from our plays here. So what is the move now? We could probably go with Defender. Unfortunately, Ithlinne is not quite enough because Milva, you know, does not work with her. Or rather, yeah, it does, but it's only 7 points, right? So I think we have to go with Defender here. Which is a bit of a shame. But not the end of the world at all. We have a lot of power in the hand. And we're going to have quite a few engines for round 3 for the long round there. We've seen quite a few good cards in this round as well. And probably not a lippy deck, so that's okay. Dragoon might not be doing too much. We'll get rid of the Skirmisher though first. Yeah, and then Dragoon after. And now we have a long round with all the carryover that we got from our leader. In addition to Cleaver and some pretty powerful cards. can boost the dragon and throw down a big 12-point immune body as well. Although they usually run Scorch, so that might not be a good idea. Instead, I think it's fine to start with the Hawker Smuggler here.
Got business for me?
And then we can go with something like King of Beggars. Get those engines going. And if he can't remove this, it's going to be really tough for him. He probably will be able to in a second. In fact, it might be good to actually boost this. I kind of like that play. I'm going to boost this up so it's harder for him to kill it next turn with, I don't know, some kind of 4 damage effect. If we can keep that alive for an extra turn, then it's really, really good.
You stand before the Queen of Skellige.
Okay. Burner Brand going to be the play. Quite a powerful tempo swing. King of Beggars we can now throw out, definitely. And we've got Call of the Forest onto our elf to pull out absolutely nothing. So we've got Dragoon, I suppose. But we're most likely going to want to use that onto an Agitator if we can. Or Cleaver or whatever. A low strength elf. To, yeah, maybe pull out Gabor. We'll see. I think the play here though is Cleaver to clean up the Jenge. Honestly, Call of the Forest might not be too good. Could consider removing that from the deck. Because it's usually not finding us much value. Yes, you can pull out your engines and keep them protected, but it doesn't happen that often. Here though, it's probably good for us to use it on the Wryhead Officer and just pull out the Dragoon, I think. Not an amazing play by any means, but good enough. Oh, I just realized I was meant to play Agitator before playing Cleaver. Whoops! That is kind of bad for us, because now the Agitator won't buff anything. I forgot that that would be the case. Also could have locked the Akaranex to deny some value there, but didn't end up doing that.
Nigh is the time of the
Okay,
white
I mean, I
frost.
guess we're still going to buff this to Synthesis. Probably if they're doing this play, it means no Scorch, right? So we'll go for that big immune body instead. No! Our brothers in the valley need us, but we don't have any brothers in hand right now. So guys, looks like we might be getting wrecked here. In fact, we are getting very, very wrecked. I think we can't really stand up to that crack long round, to be quite honest. Maybe a little bit optimistic to try that. And instead you probably have to just play the round against spears and whatnot. Yeah, maybe just a bad matchup at the end of the day. Either way, we are kind of lacking the points, and the opponent is not, by the looks of things. And I mean, a couple of misplays on my part as well don't help, of course. Losing some value on the cards.
Not your lucky day.
We're professional, and then presumably Wild Boar to finish things up. We don't need to see it because we don't have enough points to win anyway. But okay, a win and a loss. What more can you expect? I think this deck's not amazingly strong. Probably a tier 2 deck. It's pretty fun and a good Scoia'tael option, I think, if you are after Scoia'tael decks. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next video tomorrow. Subscribe if you want to be notified when that happens. And I'll see you next time. Bye.